Good morning, guys. How you doing? You know, when I first wrote my financial astrology book for 2026, I circled January as a month of shadows. I actually warned that there was some heavy alignments in February coming up, and people were naturally nervous about them. They could feel them in the unconscious. There were dark clouds over the markets. And so today is January the 22nd, and most of the month is behind us, obviously. So before we talk about what happened next, I want to look at the receipts. I want to see how we did. Did the planetary cycles hold up? Like, did it work out? Was it right? You know, did you lose loads of cash on my book? Or did you make cash by doing what I said? In the book, I gave a specific warning. It was very specific, and it was for January the 4th to January the 8th. And this is what I said, quote, I called it a high noise window, and I told you, I said, if the market pumps in the first 2 weeks, look for it to be a trap. And I said, that's very specific. Look for it to be a trap. So I said, there's going to be a bit of a thing happening, and then but be careful because it could be a trap. So what happened? Well, on January the 6th, the S&P 500 hit a new high, right? So that's what I said. Everybody was celebrating the New Year, rally. We're all doing great and all that. And then, exactly as I predicted, the trap snapped shut. And by January the 7th and 8th, the Dow tumbled to over 460 points. Take a look, have a look. The rally was fake, the noise was high, and if you followed my cycle and stayed in the sidelines, like I said, you'd have watched the other people getting burnt, and you would have been all right. I also said, which was the big one for me, this was the big one, I circled January the 19th. Let me just look at this, exactly what I said. I circled January the 19th, and I said for a Sun-Pluto alignment. Pluto is basically what's going on underneath the scenes. And so I said there's something going to be, in fact, my exact words were a power move in the shadows. That's what I said. Watch for a major institutional selling or a whale moving large amounts of Bitcoin. So what happened? Look at the news from 3 days ago on January the 19th, the exact date, and it literally is the exact date. A Satoshi-era Bitcoin whale wallet that had been dormant for 13 years suddenly woke up. The exact date. It moved $85 million worth of Bitcoin into a new wallet. Right? And at the same time, Bank of America reported record institutional outflows. It's exactly what I said. One wallet, 13 years of silence. 13 years of silence. And it moves on the exact day, not even, because I usually give it a few days either side, on the exact day that the sun aligned with Pluto. And that's not a coincidence. That definitely isn't a coincidence. That's a mathematical cycle. That's what that is right there. And finally, the book said, I said where to look. So where should we invest? Where to look? There's always a where to look sign in the book. And I said go for cash, treasuries, and gold. And so while the stock market has been jumping around a bit, actually more than a bit, look at gold. 12% in just 3 weeks. It actually hit an all-time record of $4,888 dollars yesterday. And my book told you to preserve your capital in gold before the February storm. Go and check it out. And if you did, you're up 12%, while the rest of the world is panicked about the trade wars and tariffs. All predicted. And so what's left? I'm looking at what's left in January, and I'm looking at the book again. My book predicts a tension peak for January the 28th. That's what it said. That's only 6 days away. So expect liquidity to dry up a bit as the big players are going to start preparing for the February reset. And we're still anxious to know what that February thing is. I know what I think it is because it's in the book. If you want the roadmap for February, which I've called The Storm, if you want to see it, and I'll be dropping the February forecast tomorrow, but it's also available on my book right now. Go get my book on Amazon.com. I think it's only $4.99 or something like that. It doesn't cost anything, and you'll be able to see. It's great information for you if you're in the market. So go check it out, see what I've got to say. But I would like to say at this point, I did get January right. I'm Francis Dunnery. I don't guess the future. I prove the past. And I'll see you on the next video. Thank you.